Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Thursday, November 14th, 2019. It is 1:28 p.m. here in Arizona. As always, entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. With that said, let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, today we're going to take a little bit of an eclectic stance on things because, well, basically Bitcoin's really boring in the charts, so let's get far out and have some fun. It's Mercury retrograde. Maybe you've noticed. Well, this is a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Scorpio rules, well, sex, death, and corporate endeavors. So a lot to do with business and a lot to do with resurrection. Things beginning and things ending and things beginning. It can oftentimes make it difficult to progress, but also it can help create progress in areas where you've been working hard to progress. So, or I should say to progress. So, with that said, November 20th, Mercury retrograde ends. And by the way, I'm an astrologer, also amongst many things. This was a very powerful Mercury retrograde, so you may have noticed that October 31st to November 20th may have been challenging mentally. A little bit of brain fog, possibly. Hard to make things work, maybe easy to make things work that you've really been working on, and deserve to actually finally get some payoff. Well, here's the deal. From an astrology point of view, I would say that if you've been working at making money in crypto, especially in Bitcoin, you've been dollar cost averaging, you've been working on it, well, this might be a time as November 20th rolls along, as this Mercury retrograde cycle ends, it's the last one for 2019, maybe we're going to get some payoff. So, with that said, let's look at Bitcoin. Today, red day. Some things are green, of course, as always. Link up 3%. XTZ up 1%. I'm sorry, up 11%. VET 16%. And one of the things that I'll mention as we get rolling into this, that I'll mention at the end, I'm a member of blockchain education, and whether it's a bull market or a bear market for BTC or for alts, some alts and sometimes Bitcoin are always making money. If you're a member of blockchain education, it helps you find those coins and use a standardized methodology to make money. You can always make money regardless of what the overall market is doing. Something's making money and you can hop on it. And blockchain education is a great way to learn a methodology where you can sit back and just chill, watch videos, learn it, 24-hour chat, and there's always people in there which you can confer on with charts and where things are going. You can be part of a great team. We can all build something together. We can make money together. So I guess I'll do the end at the beginning and say, click on the affiliate link. It's a great discount you can get right now. And then watch this infomercial. Join the team. I'm Cowboy Craig in the chat, and maybe I'll see you there. With that said, red day, but some coins made money, and some of these coins actually, like BAT for instance over here, were all calls in blockchain education, and we were riding up the green while Bitcoin's been dumping. So, with that said, the S&P 500. Okay, it's a green candle today, and we've been having a beautiful uptrend for the S&P 500, but as you can see via the Super Guppy indicator, we have the green Madrid ribbons going up, then we turn red, green, turn red, green, turn red. A common pattern, of course, we've been staying above the 200 moving average. That's beautiful, but do note that we are kind of maxing out here on this current uptrend, and check out the MACD. It looks like it's closing, the MACD. The blue line is closing on the red line underneath it, the signal. So when they cross, I would expect MACD to, the price action of the S&P 500 to start to trend down a bit. We'll have another little down cycle, hopefully followed by a little up cycle. But beware. I tend to notice that Bitcoin follows it. And that's on a positive sign. It doesn't always, but it often does. I'm hoping the 20th it breaks out. Let's see. We'll get to that as we go along. Now, with that said, the Russell 2000 Index, the rut. Today looks like a green candle, very, very small little doji hanging out there. We are above the 200 moving average. We do have green Super Guppy EMAs. But the MACD is right now just turning negative. So I would expect the S&P 500 and the Russell 2000 to probably take a little downtrend and then, well, of course, followed by an uptrend. As you can see, it's cyclical, up and down, up and down, up and down. Will Bitcoin follow the S&P when it begins to do a downtrend on the way up? Well, hard to tell. And also with all the with all the like 75 billion a day put into the market to keep the banks afloat, What's going to happen when we hit this little downturn? Well, I don't know. Anyway, I just don't know, but something to be aware of. What do you think in the comments? Will the S&P turning down be a boon for BTC, or is BTC just going to follow it? Now, last 24 hours, tether into Bitcoin, 1.5 billion. Tether into Ethereum, 793 million. Bitcoin market cap, 155 billion, and the real volume over the last 24 hours across the top 10 exchanges is 212 million. With that said, 212 million last 24 hours. Well, like I often say, or I say every time, it takes 300 million to be mediocre, so we're not even mediocre. There's not much volume at all. With that said, let's look at longs versus shorts across BitMEX, and Binance. 63% long, and then shorts are 36%. Bitfinex and BitMEX, as usual, more longs and shorts, and Binance, for all of the sad, grumpy pants people hang out. There's more longs, and there's more shorts than longs. Now, falling wedge. As you can see here, you go up, and then you have a falling wedge, it gets tight, and then you break into an uptrend. It is a continuation pattern. It's in general considered bullish, slanting down continuation wedge in an uptrend bullish. So we had an uptrend, and now we're heading down into our wedge, and hopefully we're going to break negative. So that is the idea. And doing a little bit of research on these, it is usual. About 70% of the time, they break positive. About 30% of the time, they break negative, these wedge patterns. But before we get there, let's just look at the moving averages. We are below, on a daily chart, we are below the 200 moving average. We are below the 21 weekly EMA, but we're just wicking down to the 50 MA. So that's not beautiful, but as you can see, we are in this beautiful falling wedge, or as it can be called, a falling wedge, also known as a descending wedge. It's a continuation pattern. It is bullish. So we're in this. We're very tightly squeezed into this. And if you note, where does this end? Right about November 20th, when Mercury retrograde ends. Hey, when did it start? It'd be kind of fun. It started started a downtrend like this, going sideways about October 27th. So when did Mercury retrograde start? October 31st. Let's see how that plays out. October 31st, where were you? October 31st is right about here. Okay, we had that indecisive doji at that time. Anyway, let's see what happens if is Bitcoin doing astrology. We shall see. Mercury retrograde ends on the 20th, and this wedge pattern, this descending wedge, falling wedge, it ends at that time. So maybe we're going to get paid off for the work we've been doing, trying to make some money in crypto. All right. This is the daily chart once again. I did a little fib just on a very recent timeline here, just going back to the October 26th or 25th, right when we had a nice long green candle. And we hit some indecision there on the .618 fib line, pumped up, and now we've been in our descending wedge for a while, and we've been kind of bouncing off the .618. So if we break positive, it's very easy to see us going right past the .5 fib. Now, let's keep looking at the charts here, and I have one more I wanted to look at. Let's see this. Oh, let's look at our MACD for daily. Right now we have the MACD is negative on the daily. The MACD signal, the blue line is below the red line, the signal, and our histogram here is widening. So that's not a beautiful thing to see if you're hoping for a turnaround. So that's about what I can tell you. That's where we're at, hanging out at that 618. And if we break positive, let's see, I thought I had a chart up here. Yeah, I do. On the daily, now here's our little descending wedge that we were just looking at, larger over here. On the daily, our descending wedge, 70% chance we break positive, 30% we break negative. Now, if we do break negative, we've got tons of support and resistance. Going back to May on the daily, tons of support and resistance right at 8,000. So I just don't see us really, breaking below 8,000. And if we did actually hit 8,000 or go, well, I'm not even going to say we're going to go lower, but if we hit 8,000, even possibly a little bit lower, I think it'd be quick. Not financial advice. TA is really a matter of opinion when it comes down to it, but I just don't see us. I don't see us breaking negative. And if we do, I just don't think we're going to hang out there very long. Because we have a lot of buy and sell volume via the BPVR here at 8K, and historic on the chart. We have lots of support resistance there. So I see us, if we do break negative, that 30% chance at the end of this wedge, well, I think it'll be a quick bounce off that 8K. But 70% chance we break positive. And if we do, you can see this green area here that I selected. This is beautiful support resistance in the chart, and also the VPVR shows lots and lots of buy-sell volume there, basically between 10,000 and 10,400, so around 10,200. We have this beautiful support resistance there. So 70% chance we break positive. If we do, I imagine we will go right into that range. So will the 20th be a payoff for us Bitcoin hodlers and us traders when Bitcoin cranks? Now, of course, if you're in alts and it pumps like that, you're probably going to be pissed. But either way, be aware, 20th, hey, it's when the wedge ends, and it's when Mercury finally goes direct, and peace returns to the earth. So, looking at the 2-hour chart for immediate price action, we are below the 200 moving average. That's the white trend line here. I kind of have that descending wedge here. Also, I'm seeing it, and the MACD is also negative, but it is starting to move positive. This histogram is starting to move positive. So the MACD, even though it's below the signal, is starting to move towards it on the 2-hour MACD. But really, with the daily so darn negative, I'm not really sure what difference that makes if we look here at the daily. That's so negative. So anyway, we really are going sideways. So darn sideways. That's why we're talking about Mercury retrograde. Hey, I was talking about blockchain education. Whether the market's going up, whether the market's going down, regardless of what this says, as you can see, there is always some green there, and you can always hop on and you can ride it. And blockchain education, if you join, well, there's calls that come out that are manual that you can load in, that you can hop into. There's automated trading, or hybrid trading as it's called, where you can get automatically entered. And also, there's a signals group that you can join, which is just signals, it's all manual. There's nothing automated for you there, but you do get great signals. And also, you can sit back, chill, and you can watch hours of video by Jonathan Regan, an amazing trader, and you can learn the blockchain education trading methodology. And once you watch a couple hours of those videos, you can hang out in the chat. Well, you can hang out in the chat right away. You can get into hybrid trading right away. But basically, at that point, there's a whole family there of people who love to trade and people who are interested in your success. And you can join the chat, and you can say, hey, look what I just noticed. You looking at the blockchain education methodology. What do you guys think? And also just hanging out and watching, you'll really learn. You'll see the blockchain education methodology in action. And really, I hope to see you there. I'm Cowboy Craig in the chat. Come and join. Let's have fun. Let's make money. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have broken towards that 70% before then. Because oftentimes, Bitcoin does not wait to the end of a wedge to make an explosive mood. Well, mood. It's Mercury retrograde. It's kind of moody. Anyway, explosive move by the 20th. I think, hey, it's just conjecture, but I'm thinking it's going to happen. Take care.